Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 8.6. Okay, we're going to continue all of this. They're trying to attack me up there. Guess we have control of the main strategic bombardment tactics. Okay, I think, let's check, make sure. Doing this both for myself and for you so that you know what you need to do. Okay, so we don't need to research that any longer to become a global military power. Nor do we really have to do that to become a superpower or weak superpower. I don't know if I really have ambitions for that. But we will stop that now. Just looking through here, all looking relatively good. Just generally okay. There we go. Now, I'm getting some more forces, going to transfer them down here to Singapore. And we're going to see about, because I've noticed this, the British Marines and other elements, it looks like some other. The bottom one there, I'm pretty sure, is the American 1st Division. So I'm guessing they're been loaned out to the British. And some other units are pushing hard against the Chinese. I mean the Japanese, sorry. But we're looking at a possible invasion, though it would be sort of interesting to land behind them here and cut off their supplies. So we'll see what we can do with that. Also looked here that Japan just is not doing a good job. Well, maybe not too bad. We're trying to keep the partisan threats down. Because if you do that, you get more resources. And we're going to be shifting some of the command structure, including Rommel and his Africa Corps, which will become an America Corps once it shifts continents. Yeah, Brazil's gonna go down. I know we have a few good Brazilian viewers, but can't let sentiment stop us. I'm currently thinking of puppeting that Brazil. Uh-oh. See, this is why we gotta have Brazil go down. Okay, so they have a coastal battleship, the Minas Gerais, and well, two of them, and Sao Paulo, and the heavy cruiser Belmonte, the light cruisers Bija, the Rio Grande, and 3 destroyer flotillas. At least they're escorting their transports appropriately now. Or before they weren't. Now, what we're going to do here is... Okay, so you're already up there, so you strike just that province. You strike just that... I mean, it's a sea province, but it's still a province. Instead of trying to, like, strike everything everywhere. Now, we're going to, again... I had been sending these guys this way. I want you... Well, where can we can go here first, quickest. You rebase to there. Okay, now let's reorganize this. These transports will slow us down, so let's get rid of them. And you're sort of hurt up, you're beat up a bit. The rune at 64, that isn't so bad. Okay, I don't want to give up my limited anti-submarine warfare, so okay, we're going to take the Bismarck group and send them back down to here again. These Brazilians, man. I don't know if they just have a super lot of infantry or something, but fortunately, I do have some really good kick-ass units they're fighting against. And we are a bit dug in. I think these guys just have some sort of uber territorial pride. That's why they're so hard to beat. In their own countries, because I was kicking their butts when they were outside of their country, and when they tried to attack me outside, they just lose. Well, can't wait forever. Let's go crush them. And I'm also shifting some forces up from here, getting ready to go hit some of these islands. I don't think that will mess up our invasion plans of wanting to have D-Day happen a little later this year. Why do we need 590 reinforcements? Okay, well, you're sort of beat up. Air attacks, maybe? I don't want to lose even the Hanover, so we'll have you instead. Let's come back down to Hamburg, maybe. That'd be a good path out and away from whatever these are. Do have that group, and I do have this, which, oh, we have another one of these guys up here. Keep forgetting to move them. I want to move them in stages so that they don't. Let's do convoy reading passively this direction here. See if they hit anybody. Or you can have the metal. Thought I had some not motor torpedo boats, but full-size torpedo boats up here. I don't. Maybe I never deployed them. That must be it. Okay. Let's do that. I want to deploy them and have them get ready. And get themselves organized up in Copenhagen. No, not donuts. Let's get it okay-ish, Commander. Yeah, there we go. Seeing all that, I did put these guys to thinking of sending them out to the Atlantic, but with all that's going on here, okay, they're nearly full. I think we can hold them there I think they'll have the range. Get some more air. Now these guys here, let's see, what can we do? Down here? Yeah. There we go. And has decided kamikaze. Okay, well. Not the smart move. Now, oh, what? I forget what I was reading. No, it was a Wikipedia article on one of the U.S. aces who, who flew Wildcats, one of the early sort of Grumman carrier fighter. One of the few that was an ace on it, because they quickly went over to the Hellcats, better fighters. One of the few who made, not one of the few aces overall, but just one of the few with that plane type. And he was pulled out after achieving that, and it sort of made the point, the article did, is that the U.S. would, excuse me, continually, once you get sort of an ace or some experienced pilots, they'd pull them out of combat, send them back to the U.S. to train other pilots, where the Japanese would keep them in combat, keep them using them, so that eventually they'd be lost without passing on their training and their experience very well. I'm sure they did with new guys in the squadron, but you sort of need to have that prepared situation before you're entering combat for the first time. So that was sort of an interesting side note. Now, I know Germany also had a pilot problem. They did use their transport planes, to my understanding, as a the three-engine Junkers as one of the major trainers, which of course is bad in several views. One being it's taking away a transport from other duties. Two, and this is just basic flight training. You know, obviously you're not doing fighter pilot training in a three-engine transport. You know, I mean, fighter, not you're training to be fighter pilots, but you're doing basic air training, not high-level training. It's using the airplane as a trainer instead of using it as a transport. Two, they're a big three-engine aircraft, so they're going to use a lot more fuel in training as opposed to a single-engine aircraft to do the same thing. And so it's bad in that sense. Now, also sort of a thing that supposedly really affected training was, and some of the people who were also doing basic pilot training, which was the transport pilots, was the losses they were talking about. Not just the heavy losses for Stalingrad, but losses over Crete, losses over some of the earlier parachute drops. So that's what I've read about with some of that. And because if you notice, really rarely, I think there's like one ME-262, the jet with the dual position, you know, pilot, you know, two pilots, but there's very few dedicated. You know, there's that, and there's a few other things, but dedicated training aircraft that the Luftwaffe had. If you know, of something in a class that has, oh, I don't know, 100 to 400 aircraft as dedicated trainers, not just, oh, we're using some Friesler Storches or something to train with also, but a whole class of trainers that they just didn't have that, where the Americans had, I think they mostly used the T-6 Texan as a trainer, but they had basic whole huge classes of aircraft to be used as trainers, as well as sort of out-of-date older aircraft. But with as part of that is the idea that these are, you know, two place aircraft in that, and both can use the stick. So first you go up and the real pilot shows the trainee what to do and how to do it, and then he can have the trainee take over and do it. But then if it sort of gets in any sort of trouble, he can immediately take the stick back and say hands off and get them, hopefully, if they haven't made a super bad mistake, as you're plummeting into the ground or something, hopefully they can correct it and get it out. So that the US industrially scale did training that very few other nations were able to do during the war. And you really need to, and that's a failure of the Luftwaffe on an organizational basis. And I may be all wrong about this, but I really don't think so, because I haven't seen any other good information on it. And they too, well, they did pull some of their pilots out from frontline service, and then eventually some of them got what we today call PTSD, post-traumatic disorder. After a traumatic episode, just enough combat, you wear people out. No shame on people who feel that after a lot of combat. So the Germans were doing that, but I don't think the Japanese were doing that. They were culturally not really set up for the fighter pilots to be doing that. But that's sort of the big failure with Germany and Japan, is to not setting up good training programs. And so this is from my understanding with Germany, is that even though they were at times building lots of aircraft, that sometimes they just didn't have enough qualified pilots for them. But not every time you have an airplane shot down do you lose the pilot. I mean, a lot of times you don't. Okay. Since we're using this as grind up, I guess, sort of want to win and then move these units somewhere else. Okay, we'll let those guys go. Trying to see if there's, okay, we don't need him to continue here, so let's drop him out of this, out of combat. We don't need, I mean, no problem having there's very good reasons actually to have skill level 5 as being your divisional leaders, but then there's also reasons to, and we'll let them get reorganized before they go back into battle. Then there's also very good reasons to, we'll let him, even though he's grinding down a bit there. And you, before we promote you up. But there's, like I say, good reasons to keep him in combat too. Or keep him at divisional scale. Yeah, we'll do this. Partially just because I do sort of want to have some more higher level Panzer commanders for later on. Okay. When you go back in. We'll leave that for the moment. Yeah, you're just... Actually, I've sort of come to believe that unless you're using the divisional HQ as a frontline combat unit as well, there's good reason to, or there's divisional command is less important than, I mean, sorry, not divisional command, corps command is probably the least of the important ones for skill. I think army group, outside of just division command, commanding a division. I think the most important is to have better quality is to have the Army level. I think that's the one that boosts your organization up the most. Okay, airborne unit, command and control. We're gonna let these go because we got a lot more of these, and I always look at those as critical because if you're jumping into a place that you can't retreat out of, you sort of gotta win. So organizational levels are good. Oh, we can do this, yes. Fallschirm-Panzer-Division, Hermann Göring. Okay, let's see. In April 44, the division was pulled out of the line to the area around Toscana to be reorganized as the Fallschirm-Panzer-Division 1 Hermann Göring. Unit will appear in Berlin. Okay, so we're losing our Panzer Artillery, Panzer Grenadier. Okay, I guess what maybe. Oh, we have a Panzer Regiment. Is this just a name change? Where is this unit? Is it here? Not that I'm not going to take it. I don't plan on cheating it either. We have Panzerlehr. Yes, here we have this. Okay, now that's what's I think going to be going by this Stab Göring, yeah. The 1-2 Hermann Göring, yeah. The Flak Regiment. Yeah. Okay, so that's so we have an armored regiment, the sort of special HG regiment, SP, armored cars, flak, heavy flak, armored engineers, trucks, and headquarters. Okay, so we're going to keep Göring happy. Guess we can obviously also do no, but I want to now let's come here. Okay, well, let's see. I always have trouble with some of this. We're losing the heavy flak unit, but we're gaining the commando element to it. Okay, it seems sort of expensive to do that. Just keep that in mind. And that maybe in the future you would rather have the heavy flak unit as well. Now I think, and let me see here. It did say appear in, but things change. Like I say, things change. What's written in the description, and then. Okay, well, I guess not. Sometimes they, well, you know, let me look here. Okay, that was just the latest of that. And we have that heading. Okay. We didn't get a core. Hermann Göring core. HQ. Now, how are we doing down here? I don't want to lose my cool elite Marines, and I don't think I will. Okay, well, no, they just was previous. So let's now move you to here. Let's battle the Brazilian Navy. Okay, let's watch. Uh-oh. They're getting, well, they've been pounded by the air before. That battle didn't last too long. We've won. Now. Major victory. Where do we? Oh, Accession Island. Okay, so we had a major victory. It looks like they're sort of trying to go home here. Let's patrol here. What's going on out in the South Atlantic? I want to watch this, see if we catch this. Oh, yep, there we go. Yep. They've got... Oh, they only got 2 ships left now. Oh, they lost the transport, okay. Amphibious unit training, our Marines and others. And we're gonna let those go, yeah. Commando control, yeah. Ah, well now we have more production here. I did put in, I don't want to scroll all the way down, more, as you can see, more infrastructure improvement, but we're also got the sidelets, sorry I'm butchering it, and some more aircraft coming in. It takes, obviously, quite some time, but that's why I started it now. Well, you know, mentioning that, I'm just gonna do another one. Oh no, we want, yeah, we want a full big carrier. We'll do that, but we want to get some of these other stuff done too. Well, let's start to grind up on these guys here. I don't think they're going to collapse in any particular soon. Oh, Brazil's now storming our beaches again? Really, Brazil? Oh, you guys are... Oh, with just 2 transports. We've lost there. Okay, guys, you attack up into here. Tired of this on again, off again attacks. And we've taken them out. We get a good report whenever it's actual naval taking them out, opposed to air. Yeah, you're resting, that's good. And you've exhausted yourselves. Well, let's... bomb people, or anything, ships or whatever. They did move up to, where was it? Copenhagen, I think. Yes. Here. There we go. And a little bigger. No, not that big. I just wanted a little bigger. Don't want to be too close to Britain to get any fighters. Come on, there we go. I got some fighters. I want to bomb basically anything that comes into this area. We'll put it. And we want to patrol this. Now let's patrol here. Patrol. Passive. Get shot up, go home. That's basically what it means. Okay, long-range aircraft production has advanced. That is good. Industry. pushed it ahead to 46, which we don't need at the moment to pursue that. And automotive construction, that is also good. Yeah, basing efficiency, that will be nice. Improve that some. All right. We don't need that so much, but we could do that. Yeah, that would be nice. Improve self-propelled. So we've got them going there. These guys came here to pick up Rommel. And I think this Italian regiment of elite troops. Let's come back here. Base with them. And we have the Peter Strasser. At least come out here. I don't know that I want to go too far too alone. That I wanted to attach to the Bismarck group. Okay, so we've got the Hermann Göring. Oh, what am I doing? I clicked the wrong thing again. I keep clicking production when I want to. There we go. Oh, I think he's still on. There was a remnant there. That's a cool unit. HQ, like that Grossdeutschland HQ. Counter. Onrath, is he still around here? No, I guess not. Okay, because that's who we want to put in charge of the Hermann Göring Division. I guess that remnant did go away. Really hasn't had much experience to go up in levels yet, so I guess he's down here. There he is. He's, you know, got some good skills already, but so yeah, so I guess the only thing we're really missing here is the anti-aircraft heavy. Now just from a mod making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you can go more than the 8 units that they're allowed if you load it via an event, but it might cause other problems, so I stopped that. Vlad Virgil was at times making not there, but there, somewhere in here there's a, yeah, one of these reserve divisions. He was making these maybe a little too historically accurate. Not that he wouldn't say you know, do the 81/82 or something if there was two units in it, but not always. So they were growing a little bit larger, so I had to tame that down. He did really good research on it and do that, but I just didn't want to push over the 8 unit limit. Just thinking it may cause some other problems. And they're not meant to be Uber units. I guess that's a remnant graphic. Okay, well, I think you're going to come back up here and pick up your carrier. You move much faster without that, without those transports. Okay, so I guess the Bismarck and the Tirpitz are those things that are slowing you down to 28. Because otherwise you'd be going pretty fast. So we got 2 carriers in production. Really don't think I need any more than Marine Sturm divisions. Probably eat my words on that later on, but no. Okay, let's come down here and grab. I want any aircraft. Because we already have, you know, some a little bit of heart attack, but and jumps up, but it even jumps up more here for piercing. Not as big as what we would see. We can afford a division headquarters. We could afford to see on proper anti-tank, but still that's a lot. And rocket artillery is cheap as well. So these are fairly decent, fairly cheap. Funky terrain, tropical type defense units, mountains, pretty damn good. But jungle as well, very excellent. So, and not too bad in a lot of other places. So. We'll build. Yeah, I know I can hit the parallel or serial, but old habits die hard. Okay, that's pretty good for some more. I know we have a bunch here already, but some more. And we're going to do six more fighters. 2, 4, and 2. I don't know if I've ever seen. I mean, it's been there, but I don't know if I've ever gone up to that instead of some of the other. Oh, I've seen that one before. So there we go. Okay, back on board. Pretty good. Okay, well, we need the tropical island garrisons as well. So, yeah, let's grab. We're grabbing a bunch of these because Brazil is being aggressive, and I don't want to. Lose anything to them. Okay, so now you guys come down to, well, how big a port is this? Not that big, didn't think so. None of these are too big, so Yeah, let's come down to here. Rebase. How are we doing out here? There, you attack here, and then down to there. You attack up. Just keep going. Take them all out. Oh, well, they've already got to there, so means we're not going to get any of the supplies, so let's change path to there. Take them out. Okay, we weren't there, but now we are up to here with some decent transport. Yes, okay. I want to make sure I have... No, not those. These selected because they'll go faster. Well, right off, you go in. Yes, you can get on board. Oh, did those other guys go on the wrong ship? Yep. I want you on there. Damn, it's going on the wrong vessel. Okay. Well, I guess what we need to do is fill it up with junk. Yeah, okay, here's a bunch of good units too. Well, not to the complete junk, but I just want to get them filled up. Not that they're going to go anywhere. Oh, well, now they've already swapped over. Okay, I want some of these light divisions and mountain divisions here. Well, let's give you a commander. Not Ringle. Did we... His unit shatter, or did I just pull him off of command? I pulled him off of command because he should be higher. Yeah, we'll give you that division. So I went to there. Want you on the other boat, damn it. Okay, well, where's Guderian's headquarters? Okay, you get on board a boat. Not the one I wanted you on board. Yeah, let's, okay, you're too big for any of the boats. Conrad, you can get on a boat. Okay, you got on the boat I wanted you to get on. Now you get off of a boat, because I don't want you on a boat. You get on a boat now that you can fit. Okay, good. Well, I'm just going to send both of you. Some of you will get there in time or sooner than others. Rebase, yes. Now I am building. Okay, we've got one here. So holds 3 now. We've got some long range fighters. Those will be good. So I also want to stack them with some of those other units too. So, well, we'll do that shortly. I don't know what's gotten into Brazil. They've like really wanted to fight, be in the war. And, you know, it's just so freaking strange, because I know the U.S. is sort of messing around here. They've taken some islands. Well, that's always been. But, you know, they've taken this island, okay. They've taken these islands away. Oh, well, these are now been, I think they were taken by the U.S., but they've been turned over to the Australians or something. So they are doing some aggressive things. I think that is helped, but I don't know. The strategic resource, that's what it's designed to do, is make the AI want to do it. And we, you know, so, and I can see down here, unless there's some other mistake going on here, well, can't see it at the moment maybe, but I did see down here a U.S. Divisional Combat badge. And obviously, like, this top Marine unit started out life as a British unit and is still in British service because it has the British colors there, as opposed to, you know, New Zealand. But sometimes you will see, like I did, I actually watched, I don't know if you caught it, but Brazil sent at least three divisions up to here. They showed up with Brazilian, you know, counter colors. But then very quickly, because it's British territory or occupied territory at the time, they gave them over to British AI control, but they still maintained the little Brazilian flag. So that's, you know, happens quite often, and so that's what I think gonna happen down here. So just to sort of consolidate the players and whatnot. You know, the AI kind of thing. So that's what they do, and that's cool. And the U.S. is contributing in that fashion. I am sure of it, and probably also lend leasing out and other things like that it's programmed to do. You know, if it doesn't have manpower to build divisions, it's supposed to, you know, send its ICs to help other people and things like that. So I'm absolutely sure the U.S. is contributing. But if the U.S. just did half as much as Brazil is doing with, you know, like trying to get back what the AI should see as lost territory here. And, you know, here in Casablanca, they'd be making me maintain, not just, you know, sitting out here. You know, I'm making me, you know, garrison this territory. They'd be coming after the here. You know, and now here we do have a garrison, but they haven't even tried it. And haven't even tried coming after here. So it just, that's sort of what is a mystery to me. And I wish I was rich. Now, of course, you all wish you were rich too. And that's, you know, a standard thing. But I wish I was rich so that I could go to, like, Paradox and go, okay, guys. I mean, if I was super rich, I'd do other things. But, okay, guys. Hey, can we just do one sort of really cool last update to Hearts of Iron 3? I'll pay for it, you know, kind of thing. And, you know, get the programmers. And maybe if the programmers, you know, can work at home at night, and I'll pay them directly. But let them, you know, get in and tweak the AI. Just one good improvement would really, really make me happy. You know, because I know part of the fault of what is happening is they were, particularly Britain, used to, before their finest hour, when it was For the Motherland mod. We can't go back to it, though. I wish, and we can't even go back and selectively undo or do parts. Because I remember, if you leave a port open anywhere in France, Britain would throw in like 3 divisions, 4 divisions, and then you could just go stomp them. Boom. Okay, and then you withdraw out of the port, and oh, they had invaded again with 3 or 4 divisions, and you could just stomp them. And it was just a constant way of killing their forces when they really needed to say send them here to defend against an attack here or something else. So you just constantly kill their forces, and it's sort of a cheating thing. And so they really sort of analyzed, or they stopped it. Now, had they been doing that kind of, those invasions, and they would do this when, say, we were at peace with the Soviet Union. Now, had they done it once you were stuck in it with the Soviet Union, forcing Germany to really occupy this, that would have been different. But they weren't, I guess, took the time or whatever to do a check for that. So I understand that that's part of the reason why the US or the Allies don't do random invasions, because, and they would be stupid if they were little, but what you want them to come do is go, oh, well, we need 40 divisions, transports, and they're going to hit those beaches hard, and then we're going to have 60 divisions sitting behind them, you know, here ready to transfer over once you land, and just come in and steamroll it. But no, don't do that. Artillery production. Let's stop 1, 2, all of the productions, because we're far ahead, and it helps. Build aircraft towers, that's done, and I don't think we're going to research any more there. I've still got to get up. Okay. Submarine fire control we should be doing already, so we'll do that. And we can do some torpedo propulsion, that will help. Bombing site will be useful. And we got one more slot that we can machine gun focus. Yeah, that'll be nice. No negatives to the fighters. That's good. They're waiting for the fleet to get back up here. I'm gonna risk this. Now let's move them to here. Now we do have, I did get them loaded, didn't I? Well, I made mistakes before. Yeah, we got a bunch of the tropical island garrisons loaded. But they're all not the same. If you notice, see, some of them are 5,400 men, some are 6,200 men. These guys have border police attached, and I've intended them not for tropical islands, but for garrisons along coastal regions. Because as we can see here, well, this is all pretty green here, even though, well, some of it is Vichy territory, so that's why it's green. But others are occupied territory, and if I were to remove my troops, they would go red. I don't think Vichy has enough, or I don't trust them enough to occupy. And you see, even France here, I still have one unit there. And so I'm going to put some of the tropical island garrisons along the tropical coast ports to do some partisan reduction, some of these places here, as well as down here. Because we don't, well, yeah, we don't really, I mean, we are, this is where Brazil, if it saw it, should be invading. They should have invaded here. We still might have been able to sink their ships, but they could have hit police units, you know, one battalion of police, and been ashore and running chaos all over. Oh, they're attacking again. And no, I'm not going to bring my navy this time. But they've only got one transport that's about ready to be sunk. I think was just sunk. So we're going to stop that, let you get rest up, organized up. just like you are. Well, Brazil, good job at being aggressive. I mean, a little over-aggressive, too aggressive. Didn't have enough naval support. And we're coming for you. It's gonna take some time, but we're coming for you. Also, I've probably been there for a little while, but some other, here we are. No, I'm holding down the wrong key. No Deedle here. The other, okay, all of you guys come up here. They were sitting over in Bantumi or whatever over here. Sent them via ship to here. Of course, I have all my, or most of my Marine HQs. Let's. Do I have any others left, or have I used them all up? Yeah. Because that should be a good invasion unit there. You transfer over to there. Okay, we have those motor torpedo boats and those motor torpedo boats out here patrolling. You go in there, and you're gonna hook around there, and you're gonna fly down to there. How are you guys doing here? Okay, just getting the Hanover patched up, and the rest are all ready to go. I'm gonna put you back out and patrolling here. They do get some benefit from fire control and tech improvements and some anti-aircraft improvements, so those are all good. That get these old ships up and going. The Schleswig-Holstein, oh, I forget, maybe it's the Hanover, or two of those were active in World War II. Schleswig-Holstein is sort of the famous one because it was doing a port call into Danzig at the start of the German invasion there, and one of the few facilities, I think it was the post office, that was actually Polish controlled. Most of the city was German controlled, and there were very few Polish troops actually in the city, but there were a few, you know, small garrisons around in the city. I think it was the post office that the Schleswig-Holstein fired upon at the start of the war, you know, within the port. It was basically leveling the guns and just shooting, you know, across the water at it. Really good fire support up there, and then continued through the war. Those two did. Now there were the two other ones, and I forget which, whether it was the, you know, the Schlesien or the Hessen or the Hanover, but two of those I read up. I think it was 34 or 35. They were scrapped. Just they weren't in very good condition. Wasn't like they took two old ships that were in good condition and scrapped them. But I do have to sort of agree with the event that gives you them. That it's sort of, I think they were, I'm pretty sure if I remember right, they were gone, completely gone by 36. But it's sort of like the idea, well, if, you know, we're not going to actually start the game earlier, but you have the choice of, if you were in charge slightly earlier, to not scrap those two vessels. And I don't think they were in that bad a shape. One of the ones they scrapped, they kept some hull sections, you know, sort of the sides going down in the hull, you know, under the water, for testing purposes, to like shoot at or torpedo or something, you know, to see some penetration. They used them for some time as a, you know, testing dummy, if you will, to see what was going on. But so in knowing some of that, I think they could have, especially seeing how again, you know, I talked earlier about the start of the war on another episode. Well, actually, it was on the live show earlier today. How Hitler, you know, was assuring the, I think it was Reeder, but somebody high up in the Kriegsmarine in 38, I believe it was, that it's going to be 42 or 43 before we have the war against France and Britain. So don't worry about not having enough subs or battleships now. So, you know, that kind of thing. And had they known that, oh, hey, you're going to be desperately short of vessels, I don't think they would have scrapped them, because I think they were quite savable. They just thought, hey, because these are, you know, probably a light cruiser or two, especially if, with the torpedoes, could take these guys pretty easy. And they had probably already had a lot of their barbettes, the sort of side guns along the sides, sealed up by that point, the smaller guns. And so they are sort of crew intensive and a few things like that, that they're not that great. But they felt confident enough of the Schleswig-Holstein, if you remember from the events, to send it on a Caribbean goodwill cruise before the war. So it was, they thought it was that, you know, and obviously that's one they kept, but that's sort of useful and impressive. And so it's shorter range guns. They're still pretty heavy guns. They're still pretty good. And you can reduce some of the crew, like I say, by just sealing up some of the unuseful guns. But where they would be incredibly useful is in places like the Baltic with destroyer escorts. So you need a whether you have multiples of these or you just have them singly, but with a group of destroyers heavily to deal with submarines, of course, but they would be very useful as convoy escorts. You can, along with other ships, you can put a lot of anti-aircraft guns on them, update them in that way. And if you run into some other sort of destroyers and other medium or other light sort of things along with them, they can do pretty good battle. And so they're also very useful for shore bombardment as you're moving up along the coast. And there's a lot of good things you could do with them that would have been useful to keep them in service. Okay, see what happens when you don't have enough police units keeping revolt risk down. Well, on that note, we're going to end this episode. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank you for liking the videos, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. You made it this far in this video, you gotta be liking more, so just hit that subscribe button. And of course, please post questions, comments, suggestions, ideas. I love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.